Friends, Namaskar. Today we are going to discuss about how sound is produced. I am speaking something and you are listening to me. It means I am producing some sound and you are able to hear me. It means some sound is being produced here. There may be different types of sounds produced in our nature. When we are going to discuss this concept in our class, your students are already aware of different types of sounds produced by some animals, some musical instruments, some daily life activities. For example, sound produced by this spoon on hitting this table like this. It produces some sound. This is also an example of a method of sound production. We can involve our students in some activity to explore more about how sound is produced by different methods. You may form different heterogeneous groups in your classroom and ask your students to note or record their observations, different observations, that how and when they have observed any sound production, or if they know any method by which sound can be produced. They may come up with different ideas or different methods of producing sound. You have to give some time to them to explore and discuss among themselves so that they can come up with some certain ideas. You can ask your students to record their observations in a table like this. And as a teacher, as a facilitator, you can group those observations in some broader groups, like by hitting, by plucking, by scratching, etc. In this way, your students will be able to record different types of their observations from the surroundings, or by experimenting, by actively engaging in some activities, and they will produce different types of sound by different methods. But the basic question, why the objects which have been producing sound, why they are producing sound on hitting? For example, if you are hitting this table with a spoon, why it is producing sound? Why it is producing sound? This is the basic question which is still unanswered. For further exploring it, we can take certain other activities. For example, you can take this metal plate or thali and a spoon. With the help of these two things, which is very easily available in all the homes, we can perform certain activities with the help of these two things, by which it can be established what is the basic cause behind the sound production. Let us try to do it. I am going to hit this thali or plate with this spoon. You can ask your students, have they heard something? Are they able to hear any sound? Yes, certainly. They have heard certain sound. And since these are the metallic objects, you can also integrate this concept with their previous understanding of metals and non-metals. They are already aware of the fact that metals produces sonorous sounds, and this sound, which is produced by hitting this spoon on this thali, is again a sonorous. It means again we are trying to integrate different concepts at different levels. This some sound is produced, some sonorous sound is produced. You may ask some of the students to come near the demonstration table and ask them to touch the rim of this thali when it is not producing any sound. Whether they are able to feel something, whether they are able to feel any vibration in it. No, there is no vibration at present. When it is not producing sound, there is no vibration. But again ask them, just after hitting this thali with a spoon, ask them to touch the rim of this thali with a finger and ask to tell about their observation, what they have observed, whether they have observed certain, in addition to sound, whether they have observed any other thing. Yes, they have observed that there is some vibration, this rim is vibrating. You can call some other students for this purpose, and if there is some visually challenged child in your class, he or she may be given the preference in touching this, because he or she may not be able to see the vibrations or the object which is producing sound from a distance. In this way, if she or he is touching this plate, he or she will be able to relate it, that sound is produced and vibrations produced, there is some relation between it. But they may not be sure that with all the sounds there are vibrations. If you have a classroom in which there are more number of students, and it is difficult to call each and every student near the demonstration table, you can use certain other methods. For example, you can take some mustard seeds and pour it in this thali, and again hit this thali with this spoon and ask the students to observe this, what is happening, whether these mustard seeds are jumping, why they are jumping, are there some vibrations going on in this thali, and that's why they are vibrating. They have to relate this, they have to arrive it. Actually, the students are going to discover this, because till now they have no understanding that what is vibration and what is its relation to the sound. After doing this experiment or activity, they will be able to relate it. There is some relation between the vibrations and the sound production. But if you want to further strengthen it, you want to show the vibrations clearly to the students, you may again use some other instruments. For example, I am going to use a simple box, a rubber band and 2 pencils. It is very commonly available in your classroom, and ask them to stretch this rubber band over this box and put these 2 pencils here, and ask your students to pluck this rubber band from its middle. Ask them to record their observations. What are their observations? What may be their observations? Their observation is that on plucking this rubber band, it produces sound. It is one thing. And another observation that is possible, they may be able to see the vibrating part of this rubber band. It means again it is a confirmatory type of thing that the sound is related to some vibrations, and we are trying to establish this thing. We are trying that the students should themselves discover that sound is produced by a vibrating object. Many a times it may not be easy to demonstrate that whenever there is sound, there is vibration. It may not be possible in all the cases. For example, suppose some student is hitting this table with a spoon, but he or she may not be able to see the vibrating part of this table, but they can feel it. If they place their ears near the table, they will be able to feel some vibration. Otherwise, they can pour some grains. So, for example, we have taken here as mustard seeds. They can place some mustard seed on the table, and afterwards, if they are going to hit it, they will again be able to see that vibrations in form of jumping of those mustard seeds. In this way, it can be established that always sound is produced when there are vibrations, but it is not sure that all the vibrations produces sound. Only vibrations, certain type of vibrations produces sound which we are able to hear. Otherwise, some different types of sounds are there, but we are not going to discuss it here about those. But it is sure, after performing these three activities, I hope that students will be able to relate these two things, that sound is produced by vibrating objects. In some of the cases, for example, some of the students may raise a query, or if the students are not raising, you may raise some questions that what is vibrating in when you are whistling, when you are whistling, when you are using some flute, when you are playing some flute, then again there is some sound production, but what is the vibrating part there? Is there some vibration? Let them think over this. You can give it as an assignment. Go and search what is the vibrating part of that flute. What is vibrating in that flute? How sound is produced? Even when we are speaking, something, when we are singing, if you try to touch this part, vocal cords, gently with your fingers while you are speaking, you can feel the vibration. You can feel the vibrations. In this way, by these activities, it can be established that the basic cause behind sound production is vibration. If there is sound, there must be some vibration associated with it. Without a vibration, there may not be any sound. You can take the help of ICT also. If you are not able to demonstrate some of the things, or you are not able to demonstrate the sound produced in flutes or in other cases, you can take help of ICT. You can take help of some animations or videos available on internet, and with the help of those, you can show them that yes, there are also some vibrating parts, but we are not able to see or verify those things. In this way, we have concluded that sound is produced by vibrations. Thank you.